What's up, guys? So I'm making a Sega Genesis portable where I shrink down a Sega Genesis and put a screen in and all that stuff and like make a shell and make a handheld. I don't know, because I want to. And I made a video about it, and this is the second part. It's going to be a multi-part series, so stay tuned. Anytime I work on it, I'm going to add pieces and more videos, and then when it's done, I'll make a video about it being done. But I kind of want to just show each part as it goes. So that's the purpose of this video series. And today is all about the power board, which is the retro PSU right here. And I basically use this board to get it to run off a battery. So that's what we're gonna go look at using the retro PSU from Helder. So real quick though, I just have to remove this reset switch for no apparent reason. Don't know why it's in the video, just removing the reset switch real quick. And then we'll get on to everything about the retro PSU and installing that. So if you saw the last video, this was the state of what I was doing. I basically trimmed the motherboard down, and I got rid of the voltage regulator, the jack, a couple other things, and then I added a drum jack from a PSP charger to directly power this thing from the wall. And then I just wired in a composite video cable directly to it, just to make sure that as I'm trimming it down and doing things, that I can still test it to make sure it still works. And I have a test cartridge soldered directly to it, so something appears on screen. So this is the retro PSU from Helder. We're gonna be installing this so that we can get it to be battery powered. And I'll link all of Helder's Instagram and all of that, so you can find out more information about this and his website. And it has a couple different spots for Raspberry Pi things, some external LEDs, some analog sticks, because it's more so designed for Raspberry Pis, but we're gonna be using it to get this Sega Genesis to run off these batteries, and we're gonna be wiring these batteries in positive to positive and negative to negative. And I made a little diagram to explain why. So this is actually me making the diagram for no reason. I don't know why I put this in the video. I just thought it would look cool. But this is the diagram to explain why we're wiring the batteries in what ways. If you want to learn more about how to wire batteries up, pause on that. And the batteries that I'm using, just garbage batteries, not what I'm going to be using for the final build. This is just to test it to make sure that everything works, because this whole project's a lot of just testing. So we're wiring it up with the negatives of the batteries together, so that way the voltage of the batteries stays the same. However, that will increase the milliamp hours. So basically what we're doing is it's giving us a longer life on the batteries without increasing the voltage, because this thing right here, it outputs at 5 volts, and it has a boost circuit to basically take the 3.7 volt battery, boost it up to 5 volts, which is what we need to run our Sega Genesis and everything else that we're going to be putting in this thing to make it portable. So now I'm just soldering up the, so we soldered the negative to the negative of the battery to the negative of the other battery, and then the other one positive to positive, and now we're going to solder those to the boards. If you stopped on those diagrams and saw that the other way, positive to negative on the batteries, that increases the voltage but keeps the milliamp hours the same, and that wouldn't work for this circuit because it's a boost circuit, so it takes 3.7 volts, boosts it up to 5 volt, and this thing outputs 3.5 amps, which is why this is like a perfect little board, because that is enough power to power a screen, a Sega Genesis, the sound amp, and anything else that I end up putting in this portable that needs power. So here we have it all wired up, where we basically just wired the batteries to the power board and then a little switch. In here, what I'm desoldering now, this is where the voltage regulator 5 volt went into the board. And basically by cutting off the voltage regulator, what that usually does is it takes 10 volts or whatever the Genesis power brick is, and then regulates it to a steady 5, and then gives it 5 volts throughout the entire board. So we just basically cut that off, and then we're just wiring 5 volts in directly. And that little resistor is right where it went to, or it's a capacitor actually. So we're just wiring it in there, and then wiring to a random ground point on the board. So boom, this is it. this is it. This is a moment of truth. We have our little battery circuit up. Like I said, this is just like the testing process to like test all these different components and figure it out. None of this is for the final. This is just to make sure the whole thing continues to stay working and we figure out what we're going to do for the end. And boom, my test monitor's in a weird location. Hope that the arrow will show you where it is. And boom, look, it starts up. It still powers. We got the Sega Genesis running off a battery. The Sega Genesis is running off a battery. Thanks to Helder's Retro PSU. So that really helps us out because now we know we're going to be able to power everything that goes into this and be able to recharge it. And it's going to be a portable, man. This is going to be a Sega Genesis portable. All right, thank you guys very, very much for watching. I hope this is interesting. I hope seeing the progression of this project is really, really cool. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to get more parts and do the rest of the video. So just stay tuned for all of that and regular videos in between. Thank you guys very much. If you want to see pictures of this stuff, I'll post it all on social media. So go follow me there. And thank you for watching, commenting, and all that stuff that you guys do. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. And you guys are all awesome people, so it's a win-win. All right, thanks guys.